Hey, amazing viewers, I love connecting with you all around the world. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share will leave you inspired and ready to take control of your own life. In today's story, you'll hear about an incredible twist that no one saw coming. Also, if this is your first time here, press the subscribe button and join our incredible journey. It was supposed to be the perfect day, a celebration of life, of love, and of the bond between two sisters. Brianna and Brittany, identical in every way, had grown up in a world where being together was all they knew. Their childhood had been filled with synchronized moments, from matching outfits to shared secrets. They were more than just sisters. They were best friends, partners in crime, and soulmates in the truest sense. So when they met Josh and Jeremy, two identical brothers with the same joyful spark, it felt like destiny had woven them together. Their story, however, was far from typical. On a crisp autumn day, the twin sisters, arm in arm, strolled through the Ohio Twin Festival, laughing and reminiscing about their childhood. The atmosphere was vibrant, full of color and energy, as families and twins of all ages celebrated the uniqueness of their shared bond. Brianna, in a lavender sundress, nudged Brittany playfully as they passed by a booth. The two had always been close, and that closeness had always made life feel like an adventure, whether it was winning carnival prizes or sharing their deepest thoughts. But today, something felt different. "We're going to win that giant teddy bear, Brianna grinned, her eyes dancing with excitement. "I don't know, Bri. You still haven't figured out how to throw the ring onto the bottle," Brittany teased, her tone light but filled with that familiar sisterly wit. But as they approached the game booth, they were interrupted by two tall figures, Josh and Jeremy. The brothers, twins just like them, were strolling across the festival grounds, catching their attention with their charm and playful banter. The instant the sisters laid eyes on them, something clicked. It wasn't just the matching outfits or the smiles that mirrored their own. It was the undeniable feeling that fate had a hand in this encounter. Josh and Jeremy, dressed casually yet stylishly, walked over to the booth, and the challenge was immediately set. The twin sisters, accustomed to competing with one another, found themselves smiling at the idea of a little friendly rivalry with these two. Little did they know, what began as a playful challenge would soon turn into something that would change their lives forever. As they threw the rings, laughed, and made bets over who would win the plush toys, there was an undeniable energy between them. The game didn't matter. What mattered was the connection, the deep and instant bond that formed. But just as the afternoon sun began to fade, something extraordinary happened. In the midst of their light-hearted banter, something shifted, and the world around them felt softer, more intimate. The twins weren't just playing games anymore. They were starting a new chapter of their lives. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow over the festival, Josh and Jeremy asked for their numbers, and with that simple exchange, everything changed. Brianna couldn't stop thinking about Josh, and Brittany caught herself smiling every time Jeremy sent a text. What had started as a game turned into late-night phone calls, and before they knew it, their bond deepened, and the twins were inseparable from the brothers. But there was an even bigger surprise waiting for them. In a twist neither of them saw coming, their shared dreams, their twin connection, and their growing love would soon lead them down a path filled with unexpected challenges. And in the heart of that journey, during a routine checkup, the doctor's words would shake them to their core. What was supposed to be an exciting next step, starting families, making memories, and building futures, turned into something far more complex. The news that came from the doctor that day would leave everyone stunned, and the journey ahead would be filled with questions and decisions that no one could have anticipated. Would they let the fear of the unknown stop them, or would they push forward, driven by the love they had for one another, for their families, and for the future they dreamed of together? Stay with me as we dive into their story, one that's about love, hope, and the unexpected twists that life has in store for those brave enough to follow their hearts. Life has a way of surprising us, sometimes with moments of joy so pure that they leave us breathless, and other times with challenges that make us question everything we thought we knew. For Brianna and Brittany, their world was forever changed when the doctor delivered news that shattered the dream they had held onto for so long. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Everything had been so perfect. They had grown up side by side, sharing every significant moment of their lives together, matching outfits, inside jokes, and now, their futures intertwined with Josh and Jeremy. The twin sisters had always talked about having families at the same time, watching their children grow up together just like they had. The idea of raising their kids side by side, sharing every milestone and every memory, felt like the most natural thing in the world. But life, as they were about to discover, had its own plan. After their first checkup with the fertility specialist, the two couples waited together in the sterile white room, trying to keep their spirits high. Brianna had felt a quiet sense of excitement building inside her. They were healthy, they were ready, and soon they would begin the beautiful adventure of parenthood. She reached over and squeezed Brittany's hand, offering a smile of reassurance. But when the doctor returned with the results, their world began to tilt in a way they hadn't prepared for. "I have some news," the doctor said, his voice gentle yet firm. "Both of you are in good health, and I see no immediate issues that would prevent you from conceiving. However, during genetic testing, we discovered that you both carry a rare recessive gene that could potentially cause congenital heart problems in your children. It's not a certainty, but it is a risk." For a moment, everything stood still. The air seemed thick, the silence suffocating. Brianna's grip on Brittany's hand tightened, her heart pounding in her chest. The words felt foreign, like a bad dream. This wasn't what they had expected. This wasn't part of the plan. What did it mean for their future? What did it mean for the children they dreamed of having? The doctor's next words were muffled in Brianna's ears as she struggled to process what she had just heard. "I would advise you to think carefully and perhaps consult with a genetic counselor before you make any decisions. There are options, and we can explore them, but this is something that should be discussed thoroughly." Brianna felt like the ground had been ripped from beneath her. It was as though the very foundation of her dreams had been shaken. She and Brittany had spent their entire lives imagining this moment, envisioning the joy of sharing motherhood together, raising children in the same house, attending school plays, birthday parties, and family vacations. And now there was uncertainty. Now there was fear. As the couples left the doctor's office, there was an unspoken tension between them. The excitement they had once felt about the future was now clouded by doubt. The conversation in the car was quiet, as each person tried to process the gravity of what they had just learned. Brianna couldn't stop thinking about the possibilities. What if their children were affected by the condition? What if the dreams they had shared for so long were out of reach? But amidst the fear, a spark of something stronger began to emerge: hope, because they weren't facing this alone. They were in this together, as they always had been. The love between them was more than just a promise of happy moments. It was the strength that would carry them through whatever came next. Their journey was far from over. In fact, it had just begun. Would they let fear dictate their future, or would they stand together, as they always had, and face this challenge with courage, hope, and determination? The decision ahead wasn't easy, but one thing was certain. The story of Brianna, Brittany, Josh, and Jeremy was far from over. This was just one chapter in a life that was bound to be filled with even more unexpected twists, and the way they chose to navigate it would define the rest of their journey. A new beginning and the power of love. In life, we often think we have everything planned out. We dream, we hope, and we make decisions with the belief that the path ahead will be clear. But what happens when the unexpected comes knocking? When life throws us a curveball that challenges everything we thought we knew? The answer lies not in what happens to us, but in how we choose to respond. For Brianna and Brittany, the news from the doctor had turned their world upside down. The future they had once envisioned one filled with shared milestones, children growing up side by side, and a lifetime of memories together, was suddenly shrouded in uncertainty. It would have been easy to give in to fear, to let that one moment of doubt define their entire future. But that's not what they did. They chose to fight for their dreams, to choose love over fear, and to embrace the unknown with strength. The weeks that followed the doctor's appointment were filled with deep conversations, quiet moments of reflection, and meetings with genetic counselors. Every step was filled with questions, but with each question came clarity. Brianna and Brittany realized that no matter the challenge, no matter the risk, their love for each other and for their families was unshakable. The journey toward parenthood may not be as straightforward as they had imagined, but it was still a journey worth taking. And in that, they found their truth. Love was not about perfection. It was about embracing the challenges together, about standing side by side through the storm and finding strength in each other. It was about being vulnerable, facing fears, and trusting that whatever happened, they would face it together. Their journey wasn't just about building families. It was about creating a life filled with love, no matter what obstacles lay in their path. As Brianna and Brittany spoke to Josh and Jeremy about the next steps, they all made a promise not to give up on their dreams, but to make informed decisions, to walk forward with courage, and to support one another in whatever came next. The idea of raising children together, of watching their families grow, was still alive within them. It might look different than they had imagined, but it was still theirs to share. The story of these four souls, Brianna, Brittany, Josh, and Jeremy, wasn't just about the joy of love or the uncertainty of a diagnosis. It was about resilience, about the strength to face life's challenges without losing sight of what mattered most. They learned that life's greatest lessons are often found in the most unexpected of moments, and that the bonds we share with those we love can carry us through even the darkest times. In the end, they realized that life is not about having everything figured out or expecting things to go according to plan. It's about embracing the unknown with an open heart, knowing that the people you love will always be by your side, helping you navigate the rough waters and celebrating the calm. Their journey was just beginning, and though it might not follow the path they had once dreamed of, it would be a beautiful one, filled with love, laughter, and the power of togetherness. The future may not always be certain, but when you walk it hand in hand with the ones who matter most, there's no challenge too great to overcome. And so, the message they carried forward was clear. No matter what life brings your way, never give up on love. Because love is the force that makes everything worth it, no matter how unpredictable the journey may be.